Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Batman. Ruben couldn't be here today, so you've got me, I'm afraid. Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Batman Death in the Family. 5 stories in one. Before I jump into the review, do give me a thumbs up. Let me know which of these you're excited for, which of the stories, how excited you are, which is your favorite animated DC film. And do leave me a thumbs up because it does help. If you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe because I think 95% of the people that watch our channel haven't subscribed. So we would love you to join the Ruby Tuesday family. In an inventive take on the much-demanded story, the infamous murder of Batman protege Jason Todd will be undone, and the destinies of Batman, Robin, and the Joker will play out. First, let's just say, we've seen this story before, and it does feel like a much more condensed version of that story. Hey guys, one thing Batman Ruben forgot to say is that this is a review for the digital version. It's not interactive. You can only do the interactive version on the Blu-ray, which comes up in a couple of weeks. We're getting a version copy of that, thankfully, from the studio, so we'll do a review of that separately. But for now, this version you can buy on the Xbox dashboard. There are different versions of which you can buy, so do be careful of which one you buy. So the one we've got is the one that has the extra stories, but it's a playthrough of the various versions of the Batman stories you get, and so you don't get to choose what happens because it's not the interactive version, but you do get to see what happens in the other kind of stories of what would happen if this story went this way. Back to you, Batman Ruben. If you're coming into this and you've never had that story, you don't know that story, you might be a little bit confused or feel like it's been a little bit condensed and that they've rushed it a bit. But that's only for the people that haven't seen this. For those that know the story, you'll feel like, oh, okay, they're getting to the main points quicker. And for the animation, I have to say it looks fantastic. Even the intro style to the Batman story was very interesting to me. I love the way they animated it, something different, unique. I love the fact that they take chances with the animation and then they get back into the more traditional animation style that we know and love, that hard-hitting, almost like the greatest Batman in the world, that kind of animated series that we had way back when. It feels very nostalgic towards that. And the voice cast is also fantastic. We've got Bruce Greenwood as Batman, Vincent Arletta as Jason Todd, Joe DiMaggio as Thomas Wayne, Zara Fazul as Talia, Nolan North as Clark Kent. So we've got a really great cast here. I thought Joe DiMaggio, he is known in the voice acting community. He's done, if you look at IMDb, he's done 400 at least different voice acting, from acting. So he's really good at what he does. But I have to say, I was kind of hoping that we had our traditional Joker. The actor I'm talking about, Mark Hamill, I love him as the voice, but I didn't mind DiMaggio in this. I thought it was really good. So as much as I want the original, I feel like he's the original, I kind of was really happy with what they did here. Batman's voice was perfect. Really adds that gruff, that world where it's like weighted on him. You feel that when he's delivering his lines, you feel the intensity of what they've gone through. The Robin storyline and then the Red Hood storyline, you feel all the emotional turmoil in that, and the choices you get to make are often also really hard. The next one, Sergeant Rock and the Creature Commandos. Battle-weary GI Sergeant Rock thinks he has seen everything that World War II can dish out, but he isn't for a surprise of his life when he is assigned to lead a company consisting of legendary monsters into battle against an unstoppable platoon of Nazi zombies. This was the story that I thought, whoa, is this really a 15? Surely it should be an 18, because they didn't they didn't skimp on the gore, and I loved it. We get a zombie, really, really, really tough zombie. We get a vampire, we get a werewolf, and seeing them take down Nazis was fantastic. The animation style was glorious, and the intro to the story was really interesting. This is something I've heard of, but I've never actually read myself in the comics. I don't know of it, so it felt fresh to me. I think a lot of people will enjoy this one because it's so different, so out there. One of my favorites in these 5 stories. Then we have Adam Strange. On a rugged asteroid mining colony, few of the toiling workers are aware that their own drunk was ever anything but an interplanetary derelict. But when the miners open a fissure into the home of a horde of deadly alien insects, his true identity is exposed. He is a space adventurer, Adam Strange, whose heroic backstory is played out in flashback as he struggles to save the very people who have scorned him for so long. I really enjoyed this storyline. I thought it was really great, and you feel for the character. He's become drunk because he's estranged from, sorry, before the pun, he's estranged from his loved one, and I felt for the plight. It also made me laugh because it felt so much like an animation episode of Starship Troopers. You know, we had the Roughnecks, and so when I saw the aliens that came to attack them, it really felt like we were watching an animation episode of Starship Troopers, which I didn't mind. I thought it was fantastic. And when we see Strange get into action, it was really cool the way he is the hero. He's the anti-hero, the drunk as well. A little bit reminds me of Hancock. A lot of fun this episode. Each of these episodes, I just feel like I want them to be feature films rather than shorts. They feel like they need much longer stories. They're like showcasing these characters, and you just want to know, you just want more every time. The Phantom Stranger. This enigmatic DC mystery man simultaneously plays both omniscient narrator and active character in a story of supernatural competence for evildoers. Again, one I hadn't heard of, very interesting story. Didn't quite go the way I was expecting it, although it was kind of very Scooby-Doo at the beginning. I saw these guys in a van, and I thought I could, like, you're that person from Scooby-Doo, you're a Scooby, and when they get to the house, I was like, this is going to be one of those monsters, like, it's the butler did it. Wasn't quite that, but I did find that quite amusing. One thing I should say about all these episodes is that the score is always good, and for this, it is definitely a character. It kind of carries the episodes. When there's no narration, when there's no dialogue, it is the score and the action sequences together with the animation that is really driving forward the story, and it really works here again. And now, lastly, my favorite one of the bunch. Death. Neil Gaiman's reimagining of the Grim Reaper into a plucky teenage goth who guides the recently deceased through journeys of self-discovery before they move on to their ultimate fate. So Neil Gaiman is one of my favorite writers, although I do find some of his content difficult to read it sometimes. I feel like sometimes you need a thesaurus or a dictionary there and just kind of work out what he's saying. But his adaptations of late are much like Stephen King's. He's becoming more and more popular. And this one I thought was excellent. I really felt for the characters here. It's a story that is quite sad. It's not that actiony at all. It's more to do with this character, this young female death character who has a job to do. She's taking people who have just died and helping them cross over. And you see her interact with this one guy at the bar who has lost his way. He, again, is well, it looks like he loves alcohol, but he's a struggling artist, and he's like the cliche one. And she interacts him in ways, I don't want to do spoilers, but their interaction together was so lovely and so sad. And when it draws to an end, I was just like, whoa, that kind of, I was so intrigued in that. I just really wanted to know more. So again, it's one of these that you kind of want to know more. You want to know the full feature story of that, or a series. Each of these could easily be a series or a feature length. And although we've had Batman Under the Red Hood, and we have the graphic novel, which is fantastic. If you haven't read it, I definitely urge you to read it. But the animation for all five, as always with these DC movies, in my opinion, is really good. I really hope you take a chance in renting it or buying it. We will be doing a Blu-ray unboxing, thanks to DC, who are sending us a copy to do an unboxing. But for now, here is our review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below which are you most excited for when you've seen it, which was your favorite. And thanks so much for watching this review and breakdown. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.